Hey everybody, how's everybody doing today? We're going to get going live here. So I want to just make sure that we're doing okay. Let me know when you're out there, and we will get things started. So a little bit to talk to you about today. I'm trying out some new software that I haven't quite figured out yet that should bring us in line with being able to do more things like sharing my screen for you and things like that. So got a lot to go through today. So from now on, my live broadcast, there's no sound already. So hang on one sec, folks, and I'll be, see. How's the sound? Is the sound good, folks? We got sound? Everybody okay? Can you hear me? See me? All right, I got one person saying no sound. So let me know if you've got sound out there, folks. Yeah, everyone else can hear me, Andrea. So maybe check your own settings because it seems like everyone else can hear me just fine. So yeah, that's a very important thing. Good. We got people coming in from all over. So I got some stuff I wanted to do. I'm trying to experiment with some stuff, folks. So I'm going to see if I can help you guys out here with some things. And it doesn't seem to be working on my end. So a couple of people don't have sound. I don't know why that would be. But everyone else seems to have sound. So that's good. Some things I wanted to run by you from now on. This is going to be my podcast. So we're going to do these on a weekly basis, post them to my podcast, post them to YouTube, things like that. So, a lot of people don't have sound. Okay, so now they can hear. So I don't know what that's about. Like I said, I'm trying out some new software here so that I can show things with you. So hopefully that'll work. If you don't have sound, I don't know, whatever Andrea did, try to pop that in and redo. And we'll get you going because whoever didn't have sound now has sound. So maybe check your settings and reissue. So I want to get into it today. And I want to start with talking about, I want to talk about branched chain amino acids and the supplement mentality and everything to do with that. I really want to get people thinking and rethinking about things to do with supplements. So there's some things that I want to post, things I want to get to, and again, I'm working on some. I'm working on some software here that's a bit confusing in real time, so hopefully I'll get this going for you. So supplements are the sacred cows of the fitness industry, and most of the time, my advice would be to just save your money. So one of the first things I want to talk about. And if you have no sound, just Lydia saying, just leave and come back. And that seems to solve things. So I want to talk a bit about the supplement mentality. One of the first interviews I ever did, I was asked about things like that. And I talked about what I called, at the time, this is going back like 25 years, the supplement mentality by watching people at GNC. And it always struck me that it was kind of weird that people would think the answer to their physical transformation issues or weight loss was on a shelf somewhere. And that always sort of stuck in my mind as like, wow, talk about looking in the wrong place for the wrong reason, because most of these solutions are inside out, not outside in. So I started doing more and more research on that, and you should too. If you do some research, you will find that GNC has been taken to court more than once for false claims, for bad products that don't have in them what they say is supposed to be in them, and things like that. So I've been through all of it, from boron to HMB to chromium picolinate, through L-carnitine, through testosterone boosters and GH boosters and all the rest of it. And it's all nonsense. None of it makes a world of difference in terms of being the difference between achieving your goals and not achieving your goals. And what I always like to say is the supplement industry wants to take something that's incidental and present it as if it's instrumental. So they want to present something to you as if it's going to make all the difference so they can sell that to you, when in fact, even if the product does what it says it does, it's not going to really amount to much of a difference. But most of the time, these supplements don't do anything that they say they're going to do. So one of the ones I want to tell you about right now is right here on your screen. You can see that there. You can read that for yourself. The Journal of International Society of Sports Nutrition just released a week or two ago. Thanks to Andrea for sending me that research. So there it is there, and I will write it again for you guys as well. So yeah, so we'll take that as we go. So it's branched chain amino acids and muscle protein synthesis in humans. Myth or Reality by Robert R. Wolf, Journal of International Sports Nutrition, like you see on your screen there. You can copy that down later on and then, take it and look it up for yourself. So the abstract, and I'm going to read mostly everything below I'm going to read right now is pretty much directly from the main research article. My other comments are my own. I'll try to differentiate when I'm doing the two. I tried to reduce or leave out complicated scientific jargon where I could, and give you the straight dope on this specific study. So, and this kind of study is the kind that matters, not short-term studies, not anecdotal evidence, from idiots who swear that their brand of branched chain amino acids works when all the real evidence suggests not. For instance, a good example out there right now, you've probably seen on television shows is, what's it called? Lipozene, some big fat burner, and it's got 10 million sold, and that's supposed to be an endorsement of how it must work if it's sold 10 million. But just because 10 million people believe a bad idea, it doesn't mean the product works. In the supplement industry, you sell the sizzle, not the steak. And if you can say 10 million people mistakenly bought your product, then it sounds like an endorsement of the product actually producing results when it doesn't at all. So a lot of the times, this is what goes on in the supplement industry. So I'm going to read this. I'm going to go right through step by step the study and hopefully help you determine what determines a good study from a bad study, et cetera, et cetera. So, just typing in my next point here, and then we'll get into it. And hopefully as I do this, you'll see how to read research and how not to read research. So, and then I'm going to go through your comments. I can see your comments, and now I can actually show them on the screen when I'm addressing some of the comments. So we'll do that as well. So very, very important. Now, the reason I'm using this study is because, well, what usually happens with me in the history of this sport, practically from the get-go, all right, when branched chain amino acids became the hot supplement some years back, I came out and told people, save your money. And of course, I was attacked for saying this and called names, and people said, oh, I'm out of the loop and I'm not up on my research and all the rest. And that's just, I've learned over the years how these industry sheeple just love their sacred cows, especially when it comes to supplements. But all these years later, real and relevant and objective research proves me to be right again. So, I'm going to go through that study now. So the journal, again, here's the study again. Hopefully you can see that, and I'll leave that up there. So the abstract is a multi-million-dollar industry, and now I'm reading right from the study, okay, for the next little while. A multi-million-dollar industry of nutritional supplements has grown around the concept that dietary supplements of branched-chain amino acids alone produce an anabolic response in humans driven by a stimulation of muscle protein synthesis. That's the whole argument for why you would want to take branched chain amino acids and put it in a magic drink to swallow down during your workout with magic colors, magic drink with magic colors and magic ingredients. And somehow that's going to do a wonder for you. But let me pause here and say this, folks. I've been in the industry 4 decades. If any supplement worked, don't you think I would have formulated a product myself for my own brand and marketed it and cashed it in? Like, what am I, lazy? So the fact that I'm, or what, I don't want to help my clients get better. So the fact that I've never participated in this stuff, even though I was behind the scenes in the supplement industry for decades, that should tell you something already. And yet most people just cling to their sacred cow of wanting to believe in the magic of supplements. So that's very, very important as well. If any of these things worked, I would formulate the product myself. So, and then it's funny, I get the one, when I'm looking out for consumers, I'm the one accused of not doing so. So the conclusion up front in this study, and I'll read from the research again. An extensive search of the literature has revealed no studies in human subjects in which the response of muscle protein synthesis to orally ingested branched chain amino acids alone was quantified, and only 2 studies in which the effect of intravenously infused branched chain amino acids alone was assessed, as well as protein breakdown, meaning a decrease in muscle protein turnover. These are key elements. That's why I have to present them to you rather scientifically, okay? Decreased muscle protein synthesis. The catabolic state in which the rate of muscle protein breakdown exceeded the rate of muscle protein synthesis persisted during branched chain amino acid infusion. Here's the quote. We conclude the claim that consumption of dietary branched chain amino acids stimulates muscle protein synthesis or produces an anabolic response in human subjects is unwarranted. All right, here's their research finding, objective research finding. We conclude that the claim that the consumption of dietary branched chain amino acids stimulates muscle protein synthesis or produces an anabolic response in human subjects is unwarranted. The concept that the branched chain amino acids may have a unique capacity to stimulate muscle protein synthesis, that's been put forward now for more than 35 years. Now, the limited data supporting that hypothesis has been obtained by studies of the responses of rats. Studies of muscle protein synthesis in rats has limited relevance to human responses, all right? So skeletal muscle comprises a much smaller percentage of the total body mass in rats as compared to humans, and regulation of muscle protein synthesis differs in a whole lot of elements and respects in terms of 4-legged versus 2-legged creatures, as these researchers showed. And even the rat studies that showed some effects of branched chain amino acid infusion had major issues in making these claims in terms of time, amounts of time of infusion and things like that. So beyond the fact that rats just don't make for a good case study. So very, very important. So I'm also trying to teach you now how to read the research. I wanted to have my notes up here on screen so I could highlight them for you, but I guess there was a little glitch in this new software. So the sale of branched chain amino acids has become a multi-million-dollar business. I could have jumped on board on that, folks. I could have been selling my loyal clients branched chain amino acids and fat burners and GH boosters and test boosters and all the rest of that nonsense. But that is playing your client as a sucker, all right? That's not looking after your clients. But I get blowback when I'm trying to protect people from wasting their money. So it's often a very interesting sociological thing as well. So at the center of the marketing for these products is the widely believed claim that the consumption of branched chain amino acids stimulates muscle protein synthesis and as a result elicits an anabolic response. That's a marketing buzzword in the supplement industry. Branched chain amino acids may also be consumed for the purpose of improving mental focus, totally bogus claim, and other nonsense such as reducing soreness, also pretty bogus claim. But for this particular study, we're only going to consider the primary argument of why to invest your money in branched chain amino acids. So the researchers say here, The primary purpose in this paper is to evaluate whether the assertion that branched-chain amino acids alone are anabolic is adequately supported either theoretically or empirically by studies in human subjects, because rat studies have little relevance. The supplement industry's argument is this: the overriding metabolic goal of consuming branched-chain amino acid supplements is to maximize the anabolic state. Ooh, doesn't that sound like productivity? Again, selling the sizzle, not the steak. It's widely asserted by the supplement industry that branched-chain amino acids induce an anabolic state by stimulating muscle protein synthesis. All right. However, now we'll get to the nitty-gritty of the study. All right. If only 3 essential amino acids are consumed, the branched chains, leucine, isoleucine, and valine, as is the case here with supplementing with branch chains, the protein breakdown then is the only source of the remaining essential amino acids required as precursors for muscle protein synthesis, or the rebuilding state, all right, to make you tone looking, to build muscle, things like that. Here's a quote, and I wish I was trying to put this online. Maybe I can do this. Let me just see if this will work, folks. I'll try to put it in here and try it this way. There. Here's a quote. All right. It is therefore, read your screen, folks. It is therefore theoretically impossible for consumption of only branched chain amino acids to create an anabolic state in which muscle protein synthesis exceeds muscle protein breakdown. All right, so show me if you're following that, you're reading that on your screen. Throw some emoticons or comments up there. I can see your comments, so you should be able to see that. I'll leave that up there for right now. Can you guys see that, the comments that I'm posting? Like I said, this is new hardware, so I'm just trying to figure out. Can you see those comments? Just let me know. So, yep, I'm not getting any commentary there. So hopefully you can see the comments that I'm posting. In regards to, oh, good, okay. Okay. So only half of what I typed. Okay. Interesting to know. All right. I will. In regards, I'm going to get back to the study. In regards to the very few controlled studies of a branched chain amino acids intravenous infusion, which is far more powerful than orally ingested supplements, we can conclude from these studies that branched chain amino acid infusion not only fails to increase the rate of muscle protein turnover in human subjects, muscle protein synthesis, but actually reduces the rate of muscle protein turnover. The catabolic state was not reversed to an anabolic state in either study. Further, a sustained reduction in the rate of muscle protein turnover would be expected to have a detrimental effect on muscle strength, even if muscle mass is maintained. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to paste that in here. Let me just do that. So here is one of the conclusions. Hopefully you can see that. Detrimental branched chain amino acids, a detrimental effect on muscle strength, even if muscle mass is maintained. So what this indicates is that, ironically enough for you, the consumer, is that taking branched chain amino acids can actually have a detrimental and catabolic effect for you, the exact opposite of reason you would supplement with it. So that's also a very, very interesting thing. So I'm going to copy that part of the study for you and paste it in here as well, and put that there. So hopefully you guys can see that. One of the things you might want to consider if you're having any trouble at all is to follow me in Chrome and not Explorer from now on, or Firefox. That's going to make a difference as well. So that's very, very important. So interesting. Not only does it have no effect most of the time, but it could have the opposite effect. So the researchers also remind us, and here's a quote, it's a little scientific here: activation of the anabolic signaling pathways can only coincide with increased muscle protein synthesis if there is ample essential amino acids to provide the necessary precursors to produce complete protein. So what that means is, in my own language, let me translate that to you to regular speak. Thus, branched chain amino acids do nothing at all, let alone nothing special, if other essential amino acids are not present. So think of it this way, folks. Think of it like trying to field a football team or a baseball team or a soccer team with only 3 players on the field, and you're expecting to not only win, but beat the competition down. That's the argument that branched chain amino acids is trying to make, and it's a futile argument. So remember, this is actual meta-analysis research, the kind of research that matters. So as the researchers state, and here's another quote, okay, in human subjects, hopefully you're all seeing this, in human subjects, provision of essential amino acids can increase muscle protein synthesis in the absence of any change in the activation of initiation factors, and activation of the initiation factors in the absence of consumption of all of the essential amino acids has no effect on muscle protein synthesis. These results, and this is the researchers here, folks, these results can only be interpreted as demonstrating that the rate-limiting control of basal muscle protein synthesis in humans is availability of all the essential amino acids as opposed to any kind of anabolic signaling factor activity, which is part of the bells and whistles the supplement industry likes to use to sell you on this nonsense. So now I'm going to post another one, another quote from the study. All right. This is directly from the study, so you'll see it here. All right. This conclusion casts further doubt on the role of dietary supplement of branched chain amino acids alone as stimulators for muscle protein synthesis. Furthermore, the above point also suggests that it would be better to eat frequent small meals throughout the day, so none of this intermittent fasting stuff, in order to have a constant and consistent amino acid profile present for the exact reasons they just pointed out for anabolic signaling mentioned above, even though the researchers aren't studying that in this particular study. So now I'm going to show you, just a comment from Lydia. So hopefully you guys can see that. I'll leave that up there for now. So in fact, and this is almost hilarious when considering what branched chain amino acid marketers are telling you, their further conclusion is this. And I don't know if I'll be able to post all of this on the screen, but I'll certainly try to do it for you right now. All right. So when all evidence and theory is considered together, it is reasonable to conclude there is no credible evidence that ingestion of a dietary supplement of branched chain amino acids alone results in physiologically significant stimulation of muscle protein. In fact, available evidence indicates that branched chain amino acids actually decrease muscle protein synthesis. So let's see if this whole segment will post. I'm not sure. Like I said, it won't post the whole thing. That's too bad. Let me go to this one here. So I'm just posting this up for you again, where you can read all this. Now, of course, the researchers got a little deeper here, because some pinheaded wannabe Kool-Aid drinking industry wannabe expert out there is going to tell you that this research is incomplete and it's this and that because these personal trainers, they're smarter than the objective researchers, and they're going to argue that this is because the branched chain amino acids are taken by themselves. But of course, industry insiders, they know better because they take their branched chain amino acids with carbs, and that's how you make it work. Mix it with a colorful concoction that's green or blue or pink, and throw in your branched chain amino acids and make sure you have this much dextrose or whatever in it, and that's how you make branched chain amino acids work. Nonsense, okay? The researchers looked at this as well, thank God, and they concluded, similarly, consumption of a mixture of branched chain amino acids to carbohydrate after resistance exercise did not increase the anabolic signaling factors to any greater extent than carbohydrate does by itself. Thus, available evidence does not support the notion of special anabolic effect, industry buzzword, of branched-chain amino acids when given with carbohydrates. So let me read these last ones to you, and hopefully you guys feel free to add your comments. So the important conclusions here, et cetera, when all evidence and theory is considered together, it's reasonable to conclude that there is no credible evidence that ingestion of dietary supplement of branched-chain amino acids alone results in a physiologically significant stimulation of muscle protein. And in fact, available evidence indicates branched-chain amino acid ingestion actually decreases muscle protein synthesis, the exact opposite of the industry argument. Okay, so similarly, consumption of a mixture of branched-chain amino acids to carbohydrate after resistance exercise did not increase the anabolic signaling factors to any greater extent than carbohydrate does by itself. Thus, available evidence does not support the notion of a special anabolic effect of the branched-chain amino acids when given with carbohydrates. So let me try to post that here and see if you can see that. All right, so the relevant overall conclusion here, for these fundamental reasons, a dietary supplement of branched-chain amino acids alone cannot support an increased rate of muscle protein synthesis. Can't happen. Like I said, it's like trying to win a baseball game, a football game, or a soccer game with only 3 players on the field. Even if they're your best players or your most essential players, if you don't field the whole team, you can't win. That's how essential amino acids work. Okay, so again, a dietary, hopefully you guys are seeing all this because I'm not getting many comments here. Well, here you go. Here's a comment right there from Cheryl. I spent a bundle on that stuff. I'm trying to save people money, Cheryl, and I'm the one who gets attacked for trying to do so because that's how much religiosity, all right, fitness industry people want to invest in what we call identity formation. All right. And that is, if you're in a certain part of the industry, you take their supplements. If you're in MMA, you take Xience or whatever their latest supplements are. And if you're in bodybuilding, you take whatever the most popular supplement brand is because it's part of your identity formation. So that's very, very important stuff. So again, I think I just posted this. Let me post it again here. Getting used to this new software, so bear with me. So again, the available evidence does not support, all right, does not support the notion of a special anabolic effect of the branched-chain amino acids. All right, hopefully you can see that. And then consistent with this perspective, the few studies in human subjects, not rats, have reported decreases rather than increases in muscle protein synthesis after taking branched-chain amino acids. The exact opposite effect, all right, of what you're trying to achieve by taking them. Isn't that funny? Promising you an anabolic effect and actually producing a catabolic effect. So I find that rather comical, even though it's sad that you're being taken advantage of in that way. So here's the conclusion there. This is from the actual study. Okay, so we conclude the dietary branched-chain amino acid supplements alone do not promote muscle anabolism. So that's right there in the study. So save your money, invest it in something wise. How about investing it in actual expertise? Now, there's a notion, there's a reason why people like Andy Sinclair have been with me 13 years, and other people have been posting in an ongoing way and showing their results. That's the value of coaching, folks. So very, very important there. So save your money. If you're going to invest it in something, invest it in the kind of expertise that'll keep you away from this stuff. So very, very, very important. So very, very important. As I said at the beginning, the answers to your improvements and progress are not on the shelves of the GNC or any other supplement store. You're looking in the wrong place if that is where you are looking for an edge. So keep that in mind. The supplement industry is always going to present to you of something that's incidental and present it as if it's instrumental for you to make progress or give you an edge. And it's just not how things work. What may be an endogenous effect is not going to happen from exogenous supplementation. Endogenous means coming from within the body through biochemical processes. Exogenous means by swallowing supplements or taking pills, et cetera, et cetera. So, and just do a Google search on present and past GNC lawsuits, and that's by the government. That's not by actual consumers, and we can get into that also. So here's another comment by Yanni. I hope I'm saying that right. I've also used branched-chain amino acids, but stopped using them because I didn't notice any different. Also, I've reduced taking protein drinks, which you should do. After training, I just eat a normal meal post-workout. Exactly. It's not about the sexy stuff, folks. You don't have an edge because you're walking around with a multicolored rainbow drink that looks like nuclear-infested urine. That's not giving you an edge. It's giving you the placebo effect of an edge, so you can do what I call identity formation. So that stuff's really, really important. So, and again, this is another really, really good comment. Ashmet, I've actually developed stomach issues using these supplements. Also, these supplements, very artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners aren't harmful to the body. I've done lectures on that already, but the stomach effects, definitely, because they put in a lot of fillers and different ingredients to try to create some kind of difference in your digestive tract so you feel something. And then you translate that in your mind as being productive and positive and things like that. So a lot of people with creatine and stuff experience wicked, stomach issues before and after the fact. So that's very important as well. So, yeah. So what other comments do we have here? Let me just see. As Perry, I can't bring that one up, Perry. It's too long, I think. Let me try that one, Perry, and bring that up. So there's the actual, and the protein supplementation. Again, not supported by scientific evidence. It's funny, all these people out there in the industry, they want to hide behind, we're evidence-based trainers, and I'm an evidence-based coach. Really? You don't seem to be following the actual academic evidence of the kind of academia that actually matters, which is meta-analysis and not short-term studies on small population groups. So that's very, very important as well. So, it's very important to get all these things there. So let me just scroll down here. Let me see if I get, I guess everyone ended up hearing me and seeing me okay. So that's good. Yeah, so I want to scroll down, take your questions, but yeah, so I'm looking for, here we go. Wait a minute. So I just want to go here, folks, other than the snide comment there. Folks, it's protege and fitness model Andy Sinclair's birthday this morning. So he got up and decided to join us on here. So let's wish him a happy birthday. So that's just his profile there. He probably more than likely had birthday cake for breakfast, I would assume. That's the sort of Abel cheat day tradition. So hopefully you have a good day, brother. And yeah, I'm sure everybody would be wishing you a happy birthday forthwith. So yeah, any others? So there's the straight skinny folks on branched chain amino acids, and I hope that's that really got you up there, got you going. So let me just, they're coming in too fast, buddy. I can't keep up. So let me just scroll through here. So glad you could join us today. So yeah. All right. Lydia says, all right, let me just, I think, did I delete that by accident, Lydia? Oh, there it is. Lydia says, I'll admit I like the taste of branched chain amino acids I've used, but whether or not they were helpful I didn't pay much attention to that, but now they can actually be catabolic and won't be buying them again. Well, even if they aren't catabolic, Lydia, they're useless. Now, here's another thing. The reason I posted your comment is branched chain amino acids have no taste. And if they did have a taste, it would be a bit on the bitter side because amino acids are more acidic, hence why they're called acids. So whatever was added to whatever you were buying was deliberately to make it palatable to you so you would enjoy it and want to keep buying it. Again, has nothing to do with the claims it makes for helping you achieve your goal. So that's why I posted that particular comment there. So very, very important as well. So Emilio wants to know what's my view on leucine supplementation. I just covered it. This whole lecture has been on that, Emilio. Leucine is one of the branched chain amino acids, leucine, isoleucine, and valine. And now they're turning the attentions to leucine, but there doesn't seem to be much credible evidence for that as well. Again, you know, what I'm trying to show all you folks is regardless of something that says may affect the body in this way or that way, it also may not. And chances are that these positive responses that one particular study may show are so incidental and incremental as to amount to nothing. All right. So, you know, as soon as you put the word supplementation beside something, what I'm trying to tell you is save your money, invest it in expertise. So that's what's important. So I'm trying to keep up with your comments here. Yeah. So yeah, the you know, if you're taking supplements like these, you know, the only thing that's going to get lighter is your wallet. And like I said, folks, you know, I've been in the industry 4 decades. For a majority of 2 of those decades, I was behind the scenes for several supplement companies, and I saw what went on in terms of selling the sizzle, not the steak. They were more concerned with what they could legally get away with saying rather than any kind of producing a supplement that did actually do anything combined with right training and stuff. So very, very important. And actually, as part of the insider, here's what you should know. During those years, I was with various supplement companies, and they fought to have me on as part of their team. Is they actually paid me for those before and after transformations you saw in the magazines all those years. They paid me to diet and train those people for their physique transformation, and then their supplements took claim for it. So they would say stuff like, oh, because I took, you know, yucky poo poo stinky caca supplement X, you know, I lost this much weight in this much time. But really, the supplement industry, the companies I was with, hired me as an expert. Hey, Scott, we got 12 weeks. Let's, you know, dial this person in. And, you know, and then they would do before and after thing with what's called writing the research articles, where they would take little pockets of research like the rat studies I suggested in this one. And then that would be, you know, to show that, oh, wow, this person probably couldn't make those transformations without those supplements. I better go get me some. And what they seldom, if ever, told you was the real, you know, Wizard of Oz behind the curtain there was me. I handled all their training and dieting, and I was paid a hefty sum to do so. And that sold a ton of supplements for the company. So as a matter of fact, in many of the before and afters that you saw me do, or if you were been around as long as I have, some of you were pretty young, but in those magazines during those years, they never even took the supplements. And a couple of times I've even explained those supplements weren't even available. So at the time that they did the research and the marketing. So there was a lot of magical stuff that I did that helped them market their products to the consumers. And then after a while, I just couldn't shake my head anymore. So, yeah. So, you know, again, save your money. You know, I'm trying to look for some comments here, but I don't know why anyone would go to a supplement store, organic or otherwise. Again, the answer to your physique transformation doesn't come on a shelf in a store. So very, very important to keep that in mind. I can't keep up to the happy birthday wishes there, buddy. I wish we had got you on beforehand. So I could have split the screen, but we'll get you on and again. So Jason says, thank God you're talking about these supplements. Finally, someone willing to talk about it. full support. Too many people being taken for a ride. The thing there, Jason, is too many people being willingly taken for a ride. People want to believe in this stuff, you know, and it's like when I debunk things like paleo, and I debunk things like keto diets, and then you'll have people who have no ventured stock in the game. In other words, they're just consumers. Okay. They're not researchers. They're not people like myself who make a living coaching in the game for 4 decades. So they're just consumers. And then they'll spout in, oh, well, this, you know, they'll make crazy statements. Well, this really worked for me, or this really had this effect on me, without any context for understanding, like we've talked about so many times, the short-term elements. Okay. Very, very important as well. So those are things to keep in mind. So I haven't yet to see a supplement that does anything of relevance. Okay. So again, all that money that could have been invested in having good coaching over that amount of time, one program to the next, the reason Andy ended up on several fitness covers, fitness magazine covers, and romance novels and things like that, is he had coaching. He had solid professional coaching where he wasn't bouncing around from one trainer to the next, or one magazine article to the next, or one supplement to the next. He had solid, consistent professional guidance. So, Degas, I'm just reading that comment. Hopefully you guys can see that. The man on the Muscle Tech ads with the lab coat was the conscience of the building where the Muscle Tech was housed. Yeah. Well, a lot of those shots, Degas, they were actually done right at Muscle Mag offices in Mississauga, Ontario. I was actually present for a lot of those. So, and the guy in the lab coat was actually just one of the people involved with Muscle Tech Company, who wasn't a scientist, and they didn't have to say it's a scientist. Put someone in a lab coat, you know, give the projection that it's a scientist doing a study, and the consumers will eat that stuff with a spoon. That's how it works. So very, very important there as well. So now hopefully you guys are seeing all these comments that I'm posting. So that's important. I'm getting used to this new software myself. So I would have liked to have posted the whole document. I wrote out a nice long document that I was going to share screens with you, and somehow that failed to happen. So I'm just learning this software, but it'll really help to keep you guys much more interactive and much more engaged as we go along. So just posting there. Hopefully you can see that at the bottom of your screen. My future live dates, they may not always be on Sundays mornings. You know, what do you think about all that? Hopefully, you know, that's okay with you guys. I might not always be on Sunday mornings. And if I'm having guests and learning how to put them on Facebook Live, that would be pretty cool. And I would, you know, have to do it on different days, but I'll always make an announcement. So also, if you can just let me know right now, if you see and hear me just fine, my picture's good, things like that. Like I say, it's new software, so I want to make sure that I'm using it right. So Hashmat's another good comment. What I don't understand is that why officials don't stop production of these supplements if they're not of use to building muscle and actually slowly harming the process. And that's because of the supplement health diet industry. I forget what it is. Maybe Perry can look that up. In the 1990s, it went to Congress, and with a lot of heavy weight of politicians behind it, they passed the Diet and Health Supplementary Act or something around 1995, 1997, which allowed supplements to not be held to the same level of FDA scrutiny as drugs that need to be passed into use. That's why when you see commercials on TV for drugs, at the end they say possible side effects are, because they're under a whole different scientific level of demand and level of proof, and they have to list any possible side effect, minor or major, that may happen if it's an FDA-approved drug. The FDA doesn't have to approve supplements, and there's just not enough manpower to go around to study these claims. Every so often, they catch up. Perry, I knew you'd come through for me. Let me post this, folks. So this is the Dietary Health and Supplement Act, I think, in the 1990s, and you can read about now the fitness industry. I mean, I was in bodybuilding back then. They love this, right? Like, oh, don't let them take our ephedrine from us, and don't let them take our protein powders from us. They don't understand. But the real threat was, this is what makes, and probably still to this day, made magazine publishing possible, was all the ads from these supplements offering, you know, every friggin' result under the sun. And without that, if they had to pay for the same kind of FDA approval that drug companies did, then pretty much the whole industry would fall in on itself. So it was a boon to have the Diet and Supplementary Health Act pass, but it allows for supplement marketers to get away with wildly inaccurate claims, misuse science, ride the research. What riding the research means, folks, is if we have a study that says vitamin C performs this positive attribute in the body, what riding the research means is then a supplement company will come around and say, well, our product X does this. And what they're doing is riding the research of what vitamin C does by putting a powdered form of that in their supplement. They make that claim because of the vitamin C, not because of their supplement. And we know that naturally swallowed vitamin C from actual foods does way more than just some kind of pill, because without the actual phytonutrients that go with these things, they tend not to be absorbed nearly as well. So it's not just the supplements you take, it's retention and absorption in the body. All right, so that's what a lot of people don't understand. So supplements can contain a disclaimer that they are not evaluated by the FDA. Some do, some don't. And again, consumers don't care. That's the thing, Donna. They just don't care. If there's a promise out there that, you know, this new diet is going to help you, this new supplement, new and revolutionary, that's a big marketing term. You know what makes me laugh every year? Nutrisystem and all these things. All of a sudden, their program is new. Well, was the old one so bad that you made millions of dollars off of? And if it was, you know, why is every, you know, lean in 13 or, you know, whatever it is, quick start and all the rest of it is pretty much nonsense. So Catherine's just saying $400 a month addiction to supplements. And Catherine is a client of mine, full disclosure there. But most of my clients do not take supplements. So, yeah, so we're getting there. People are coming on board. And listen, I would rather make an honest buck coaching people to want to empower themselves and change themselves and coach them to do that. It's very rewarding work, rather than dupe my clients and dupe people by first getting them to hire me for coaching and then selling them products that I know do nothing. Shame on the coaches that do that and to make ends meet. You shouldn't be using your clients. You should be valuing them and, and be worthy of the trust they put in you. So, but that's another one of these things, folks, that I want to get across to you. And this is very, very important. So let me just write it here. Okay. As soon as you start looking on shelves for the answer, okay, you're disempowering yourself because you're telling yourself you don't believe enough in your own abilities to do it, right? You think, oh, this magic supplement out here, this magic fat burner, that's what's going to burn the fat because I can't do it on my own. That's the message, the subconscious message that you're most often telling yourself. And that is sad. So one of the things, one of the first interviews I ever did, someone said, what's the top 5 reasons that you made it when everyone else didn't? And I said, heart, 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 and heart. I never ever reached on a shelf for the answer. I never thought like some magic supplement was going to make the difference between me making it to the top. I knew it would be about sacrifices I had to make, and that didn't come in a bottle. So, and I even remember 6-7 years ago, I was so infuriated that someone I knew was actually marketing a product called Fitness in a Bottle. All right. And they made a lot of money. I think they made like 20 grand a month or whatever. So sad, but true. in that the consumers in this industry willingly subject themselves to being manipulated and abused. You're a willing participant. Even this, when I post this, there's going to be people that balk at it and say, well, my brand of branched chain amino acids work. I know it works, because no one wants to admit that they've been flushing their money down the toilet. But usually people come around. Now, people are posting for me when the best days are for them for live broadcast, but yeah. So I can't always do that. I'm just telling you in advance. It may not always be Sunday breakfast with the coach anymore. It will be for the next one or two, I think, especially as I figure this out. And as you can see, Amanda said she was spending at least $100 a month on branched chain amino acids. Isn't that sad, Amanda? Like what you could do with that money? I mean, that's what I charge a month for coaching. So there's your monthly coaching fee right there, to get, good, concise, one-on-one, targeted individual attention, the right programs at the right times with the diet strategy that fits your life, rather than thinking like swallowing a bunch of pills. And it goes on and on and on, folks. And I'm going to be spending some time, in the future, going over a lot of these supplements out there. So let me just post this one. Tony, I don't see a picture of you, but a long time ago I heard you say you thought enzymes were going to be the future. What you know now, what are the thoughts today? Again, just I was ill-informed. I read one study on it, and again, exogenous forms of these things. This is a good example, Tony, that what goes on in the body enzymatically by natural biochemical processes can't be mimicked by swallowing a pill. The gut usually destroys all that stuff anyway. So no, that's not the future, and it does nothing. There isn't a supplement out there that I believe in right now, not one. So, and that's my take, and that's from someone who does all the research. And believe me, if I'm not doing the research, my clients are sending me the research between people like Perry and Andrea Papa that you see here in the comment section. I'm up to my neck in research all the time, whether I want to be or not. And people just don't want to hear it, right? So, and again, Andrea saying the biggest supplement scam out there, Herbalife. If you got Netflix, folks, there's a big Netflix documentary. I think it's on Herbalife, or it's something reflective of Herbalife. It's multi-level marketing, and very, very sad to show how the sellers there are manipulated from the top down, and how they try to manipulate their friends, families, and clients as well, to sell products to be part of that upper echelon income stream, which again, when you're selling supplements, it's not about your client's results. It's about your income stream. And that's quite sad, actually, to tell you the truth. So that's very important as well. So, yeah. So, I guess, yeah, I'd be, I'll stay on for a couple more minutes and see how many of you, if you can just really quick type in how much money you think you've been spending or in the past have spent on supplements per month. I'd be curious to see a running total on that. And then we can end this broadcast, and I promise I will get better at this software. I meant to bring you this Word document. I wish I had it all set up where I was going to highlight it and then increase the font so you could read along with me. But unfortunately, when it came to doing it live, it just wasn't happening. So here we go. People are starting to. There's Tom was spending $150 a month. Mike Kirsten is averaging about $100 a month. So just think about that, Mike. Over the course of a whole year, that's $1,200. Okay, same thing with Tom with you. Over the course of the year, that's $1,500. So, yeah. So I have people telling me, they were spending $400 or $500 a month. So, as Andrea says, back in the day, I could have built a house. Looking back on how much I spent. Yeah, a lot of clients come to me and they make me a list of all the supplements they've been taking, and I can't believe it. It's a scroll list of stuff. Vitamin D, been proven unnecessary. Fish oils. Well, in one of my books you see behind me, there's a whole chapter called "There's Something Fishy About Fish Oils." Yeah, very, very important. So, and again, part of this for me, folks, if I'm being totally honest, part of this for me is redemption. I mean, I was part of that world, right? Like I said, I was a paid endorser for supplement companies, and I got paid well. And I got paid not only to use my own physique as an example of supplement, results, but also because they paid me to dial in, their clients that they would end up, their supplements would, take the claim for. So what's my take on creatine? Actually, Amanda, that's a good question, because creatine is the actual only supplement that has been proven to do what it says it does. As an adaptogen, creatine is pretty damn good. An adaptogen is something that helps your body adapt to stress or brings your body back into homeostasis. And on that front, creatine works. However, what I have noticed with creatine, even the top of the line creatines, is that it makes most women hold water, cause a stomach distension, and it causes a lot of people a lot of gastric upset as well, even the higher end formulations. And I'm not sure why that is. And again, because I really don't do much research on supplements anymore, I'm all about people earning it, because there's something empowering when someone does that. And in future broadcasts, I'm going to be doing transformation stories with my clients and showing you the step-by-step. You'll find that real motivating when I can figure out how to use this software a little better than I did today. So very, very important. So I'd like to do, I guess that's going to be, I guess that's going to be it for today. Hopefully, you guys were able to see me and hear me. We got out of that glitch at the beginning. Hopefully this was all good for you. And again, happy birthday to Andy Sinclair. He's getting old. The blue book behind me. I'm not sure which blue book you're referring to. Behind the Abel Approach, are you referring to this one? Okay, this big sucker is Modern Nutrition and Health and Disease. Okay, 3,000 pages, folks. That's right, 3,000 pages. And look at, if you see my bookmarks here, okay, all in different color-coded. All right, I read all 3,000 pages of this twice. So when people tell me that I'm not up on my research, they really don't know and understand who I am and how I work. So, but that's it. Hopefully that's the book you're talking about there, Andrea. So, yes, he wants to know, aside from the alleged increased protein synthesis, would there be any other possible benefits to consumption of branched chains? I think this whole lecture has said no. So increased performance, no. None of this stuff, no. I mean, I read you all the conclusions. You'll see, maybe you came in late, but I posted the conclusions. I read the conclusions. When I post the, go back later and watch this again and read the stuff that I posted and learn from that. People want to keep backdooring and back-ending with yeah buts. Yeah, but if I do this, maybe it'll work. And yeah, but if I do that, maybe it'll work. The supplement industry loves you to do that. They want you to bend over backwards to try to make excuses for your own placebo effect. Keep that in mind. So Amanda says, thank you. This is awesome. And your knowledge and positivity is amazing. I appreciate that, Amanda. It's a little weird looking at your avatar because I can barely see you. I just see a man in there. So I thought I was getting the name wrong there for a minute. But this is very, very important stuff. So remember, folks, don't bend over backwards to buy into your own placebo effect. Okay? That's just not wise, and it's disempowering. On a very subconscious level, you want to be able to say you did it. All right? You want to be able to say I did it. Now, if you need coaching help to do it, that's a whole different thing, right? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with a hand up, which is very different than a handout. And then once you're there, you can really, really, really get into it. So very important stuff. Hope you benefited from this. Like I said, I'm glad you guys are out there, because if you weren't out there, it wouldn't make sense for me being in here. So Sherry, good client of mine, great info. It always comes back to mindset and perspective. You can get my book, Mindset of Achievement, for free, folks, on my website, scottabelfitness.com. And it does come back to mindset. And again, as I always say, one of my classic Abelisms, quality of mindset determines quality of behavior. The higher the quality of your mindset, the higher the quality your behavior is going to be. And again, the diet and fitness industry want to present that to you upside down. They want you to believe in behavior modification, that if you change your behavior, you'll change your mind. Well, if that worked, then all of you out there who sabotage yourselves wouldn't be sabotaging yourselves ever, because you would have the secret recipe to diet and training that would get you out there. So, so Tracy just saying, my client Tracy, new client Tracy, 2 weeks with real food, no supplements, no vitamins, but real food, starting to feel better, belly bloat gone, down, and energy going up. You're the only voice I hear. I appreciate that, Tracy. But here's another good thing, folks. Sometimes people taking supplements to counteract a certain issue don't realize the supplements themselves are causing the issue. Some of the plastic made is the cheapest kind of plastic for the capsules of taking supplements, and these capsules actually cause a lot of digestive stress the more of them you take and the longer you take them. So you end up taking something else in capsule form to counteract that, and you end up with rot gut or distension or bloating. And then you get off all those supplements, you're no longer ingesting all that cheap plastic and useless fillers and ingredients, and guess what? Your stomach flattens out. So very good comment there, Tracy. Appreciate that. So good. Hopefully you guys, damn. And I meant to say all the way through. You can't see that, but I wrote down share. The minute you guys get on here, you really, really should be hitting the share button and getting more people on board. Some truth serum in this industry is sorely needed, because I know experts who I consider real experts in training, and they're on the supplement wagon, and they just don't have time, I guess, to be as informed on things on a deeper level. So, other research, we have research that probiotics are pretty useless as well, but they make a ton of money. So very, very important as well. So good stuff, folks. I apologize. I'm learning this new software, and it's one of these software things you can only learn by doing it. And like I said, I wanted to share my screen and bring up the Word document that I had and highlight it so you could follow along with me. And I wasn't able to do that, but I'll figure it out. I'll get some help figuring it out. And we will be able to get better and better at this, and it'll be a way better interactive experience. Hopefully you've already seen that in this broadcast, where I could write in some conclusions and write in the study itself and write in your comments and address them directly so you could all see them, and it'll just get better from here. So that's it for me today, folks. I appreciate you being out there. Please share. And again, I repost this later to YouTube, and this is now going to be my podcast as well, so I'll be having guests here in the future once I can figure out how to work this thing, because I'm a digital moron, but I'm putting all I can into learning this stuff. So appreciate you being there, and I will see you next time.